Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Helicopter Radio. My name is Ed Walker. This is actually just a really impromptu show to fill in for Jeffrey Grupp. He was scheduled to return to his broadcast today, but something came up, and he just was not able to make it. I don't know why, but I just know, once you have a new little member of the family to take care of and things like that, there's a lot of unexpected things. So I hope everything's okay with him. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's just something he had to take care of with the family or whatever. But anyways, so I just told a lot of people about it. I was saying, Jeff's coming back to Antimatter Radio tonight, but he had to cancel it. So I felt like we should at least have some sort of live broadcast for you all. So yeah, basically I'm just filling in on this spot. Usually my broadcast is on Tuesday and Thursday. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. So today it's going to be going into something I've been thinking of a lot lately, is the mindset of the elite. And I have some things I've been thinking about and comparing the mindset of the elite specifically to serial killers. And we'll be going into that. But actually, before I get into that, let me first obviously put out the call-out number. Area code is 347-327-9278. It is area code 347-327-9278. So if you want to call in, if you have any questions, go right ahead. It'd be great to hear from any of you, especially since today's today's kind of a broad topic of show. Nothing too specific. My next show tomorrow is going to be a little bit more specific. It's going into the conspiratorial view of history versus the accidental view, which is the view that you hear in the mainstream that, there's no hidden hand in the workings of history. There's no conspiracy at all. Things just kind of happen, The accidental view is just, just all accidental, just cause and effect. It's a total lie. So that's what my next show is going to be about. So I did it. The last show I did was a pre-record. It was an interview with Chris White, and I've gotten either very positive feedback or very negative feedback on that show. Basically, what it comes down to is Chris White is a devout follower of Jesus Christ in the Bible, or Yeshua, as the sacred namers would like us to say. And he advocates that strongly, and he also criticizes some of the other big names in the truth movement as putting out ideas that are very similar to the mystery schools and the Theosophical Society and a lot of these groups. So let me just say, though, since then I've been thinking about it, and as far as spirituality goes, this show, for one thing, is not going to focus too much on that. Even though I think that's a huge part of the conspiracy, there's a spiritual side to it, spiritual warfare. But, as far as Christianity versus New Age versus, whatever, Islam, I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just one of those things that it comes down to faith. I mean, you can't prove, some of these things. Well, I mean, you can support it with good evidence, and you can argue your point versus one point, but ultimately, I also have been thinking, doesn't seem like God would really have a religion. So that's why I say I do like the teachings of Yeshua and the words in the Bible, and I don't think it was created by the Illuminati like a lot of people say. And Chris White does a good job of totally, just tearing that argument apart. But I think if there, as I do believe, there is a God, creator of the universe, and I don't think God would, be a specific religion with a man-made name attached to it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But so today's show, it's going into the mindset of the elite, the mindset of the Illuminati, and one way I think we can kind of look into that, like I said, is looking into serial killers And you might be saying, well, what are you talking about? Well, I mean, look at the people who make decisions in this world and the policies they carry out. And they're the serial killers, but times, 1,000. I mean, they look at the warfare, the starvation, all the pain, suffering, everything, all the destruction in our, and a big part of that is due to the global elite, the Illuminati. So they are old, serial killers, that type mindset. This also goes into the idea of dark ecstasy that actually I haven't talked about much lately, but I still think that's a very valid idea. Is a term that Jeffrey Grubb started using, describing this. It's a sort of like it's a state of mind that someone would be in, like a serial killer or someone in the Illuminati, is where it literally is they get pleasure from the most sadistic acts of violence and pain. And it is a sadomasochistic type mindset. It is different than evil, as in it's the actual, evil is a word to describe, actions and things of people. But dark ecstasy actually describes the spirit of the Illuminati. It's the spirit of darkness, basically. And one thing like I said, I used to be really into researching serial killers, and a lot of people, it's not just me, have that kind of morbid fascination, but through researching them and then just the policies of the Illuminati and how they work in just complete deception, and they want total enslavement for the human race. It just kind of, you can really see, when you look into the mind of a serial killer, you're looking into the mind of the people that control this world. Well, if you can call them people, I mean, it's actually, in some researchers would argue that they're actually not human, but if you can look into the entities, I guess, that control this world at this point and that are leading us into total bondage, it's just very similar. I mean, the mindset of a serial killer versus someone, who could willingly start a war that kills millions and just wreaks, destruction, and it's just absolutely hellish. And, Joseph Stalin said, one death is a tragedy, a million is a statistic. And sadly, there is, as morbid as that is, there's some truth to that. When you read history, you just read these reports of just millions and millions of people dying. Stalin killed, his regime killed like around 20 million plus. I don't know the exact number, but yeah, millions. So you just read that, it's some footnote in a history book. But then these serial killers get famous, from killing a handful of people. It's kind of a really sick irony. And here's a clip I'm going to play. I know a lot of people that are listening, we don't want to hear this, but for one, it's not very graphic, and I do think it is important to really, understand the enemy. That's what this is all about. It's that I don't like studying, things like of this dark nature just for fun and, just to kind of laugh about it. No, this is serious, and as far as understanding our predicament and the people that are leading us towards the New World Order, we got to really look into their mind. And try to, and then from there we know, ultimately, hopefully we can find the things to battle the darkness. But here is a clip of Richard Ramirez, and he was a serial killer in, I believe, California, who would just do absolutely horrific things. I'm not going to go into the details of what he did, but he was just a complete scumbag, serial killer. But he makes some points, and he talks about society and some, things that I was kind of mentioning earlier. And just listen to what he has to say. It's interesting to say the least, but here's the clip. It's around 5 minutes.
I first met Richard Ramirez shortly after his L.A. conviction. Richard had been transferred to a jail in San Francisco where he was charged with and ultimately would be found guilty of a 14th murder.
What do you want the world to know about you?
The world has been fed many lies about me. I have read very few truths.
Who are you?
Just a guy. Just a guy.
At the time, Ramirez was certainly a guy attracting a lot of attention. Since his arrival at the San Francisco jail, women from around the country, including one of the female jurors who had found him guilty in Los Angeles, had been flocking to the San Francisco facility, even fighting with each other over Richard's affections.
I have friends. And that is all I care to say, really. They are open-minded people.
And it was here, in a cramped room in a San Francisco jail, that I interviewed the man known as the Night Stalker. A memorable face-off, with me asking questions, and Ramirez, for the most part, reading from a script.
Did you kill 13 people?
It would be improper for me to comment on my LA convictions and on my pending case here in San Francisco.
Why?
Because of my appeals.
Are you appealing these because you say you're innocent? You didn't kill 13 people?
That is correct.
You didn't kill 13 people.
Again, it would be improper for me to comment in any regard to that question.
You have now entered a very rare group of people in this country. You're in the ranks of Charlie Manson, Ted Bundy. You claim you didn't commit these murders, but you're right in there now as far as everybody else is concerned.
Serial killers do on a small scale what governments do on a large one. They are a product of the times, and these are bloodthirsty times. Even psychopaths have emotions if you dig deep enough, but then again, maybe they don't.
Do you have emotions, Richard?
No comment.
Tell me what kind of emotions you got going through you right now.
I'll tell you what, I gave up on love and happiness a long time ago.
Why?
I don't care to explain that. Let the quote stand for itself. People in this day and age are brainwashed and programmed like a computer at being nothing more than puppets. This nation, this country is founded in violence. Violent delights tend to have violent ends. Madness is something rare in individuals, but in groups, people, and ages, it is a rule. Killing is killing, whether done for duty, profit, or fun. Men murdered themselves into this democracy.
You're good at reading your script, Richard, but you're not much at answering my direct question. A lot was made that you're a devil worshiper. Do you worship the devil? Have you ever studied Satanism?
There are different sects of Satanism.
Have you just yes or no? Have you studied Satanism?
Yes, I have.
Are you a worshiper of the devil?
No comment.
Come on, Richard.
I can tell you a little bit about Satanism.
Well, I'm interested in hearing what you got to say then.
It is undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. It is power without charity. A Satanist admits to being evil.
You admit to being evil, Richard?
We are all evil in some form or another, are we not?
I'm asking you the questions, my friend.
Yes, I am evil. Not 100%, but I am evil. Evil has always existed. The perfect world most people seek shall never come to pass, and it's going to get worse. The great epochs of our lives is when we gain the courage to rebaptize our evil qualities as being our best qualities.
All right, so that was him, and I mean, yeah, sure, a lot of that was, creepy sounding, but I mean, think of some of the points he makes there. Violence is violence, no matter what. I mean, killing is killing, and it is very strange, isn't it, that these serial killers and people who kill, I mean, obviously, yeah, I'm not, that's bad, clearly, but when as a culture, when as a group, when we're in this group think herd type mentality, when we go to war and things, it's totally, well, it's not totally, but it's, for the most part accepted, See, Richard Ramirez is going to go down in history as being this disgusting, horrible serial killer, and rightly so, he was. But, some people that send, millions off to die in war, I mean, they're viewed, as these historical figures, and it's just completely different the way, people look at them. It's absolutely incredible. So, I mean, he says he gave up on love and happiness a long time ago, and yeah, I mean, that's sad, but it's all just comes down to the elite of this world are just total sociopaths. And actually, I was listening to Max Egan, and he's saying this. So I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a very simple thing to understand. But yeah, he put it very well, and I liked that broadcast. And by the way, I emailed him. I'm trying to get him on, but it's just sometimes it's easier said than done. But anyways, he said. Yeah, he talks about the elite being sociopaths, and then I said, yeah, that is such a simple way to look at it, And And a sociopath is a personality disorder characterized by an abnormal lack of Hello, everyone. Welcome to Black Helicopter Radio. My name is Ed Walker. This is actually just a really impromptu show to fill in for Jeffrey Grupp. He was scheduled to return to his broadcast today, but something came up, and he just was not able to make it. I don't know why, but I just know, once you have a new little member of the family to take care of and things like that, there's a lot of unexpected things. So I hope everything's okay with him. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's just something he had to take care of with the family or whatever. But anyways, so I just told a lot of people about it. I was saying, Jeff's coming back, and I'm comparing the mindset of the elite specifically to serial killers. And we'll be going into that. But actually, before I get into that, let me first obviously put out the call-out number. Area code is 347-327-9278. It is area code 347-327-9278. So if you want to call at a radio tonight, but he had to cancel it, so I felt like we should at least have some sort of live broadcast for you all. So yeah, basically I'm just filling in on this spot. Usually my broadcast is on Tuesday and Thursday, and yeah, I mean that's about it. So today it's going to be going into something I've been thinking of a lot lately, is the mindset of the elite. And I have some things I've been thinking about, and